We're playing Doomsday, a list that top-aided the Legacy Showcase Challenge that had over 350 players. Let's go check it out. This video is proudly sponsored by Card Market. Before we get into this really sweet deck, I would like to congratulate my good friend and cohort, WonderPreaux's, aka Max Carini, for their top 8 in the Legacy Showcase Challenge. I am fortunate enough to have Max as someone to bounce ideas off. I consider Max a very good friend of mine, and Max regularly works with me on the Epic Storm and provides a lot of valuable insight. So congratulations, Max. I couldn't be happier for you. And this is the deck that Max top 8'd with. It is Legacy Doomsday, the deck that wins using Thassa's Oracle. Today we're playing Dark Ritual, which is pretty standard, but also 3 copies of Cabal Ritual. The idea here is that Cabal Ritual is very good with Vexing Bauble. So the idea is that on turn 1, you might search out a basic island into Vexing Bauble. On turn 2, basic swamp, Cabal Ritual, Doomsday. From there you build a pile where you win with Thassa's Oracle, likely using Cavern of Souls, and then you win the game. But why is Vexing Bauble so good in this deck? A lot of the other Doomsday decks don't play it. Well, some do, but it's not exactly common. This is Turbo Doomsday, so you're not going to find any Psychic Frogs or Tamios or even Barrowglyphs out of the sideboard. This is pure combo Doomsday. And Vexing Bauble is really nice because it stops your opponents from playing Force of Will, countering your Doomsday, or multiple copies of Daze or anything like that, and instead you're changing what the game is about. And I think that's really interesting. The kicker here is that you could sacrifice this artifact and draw a card. With Doomsday, the problem with this card is that it doesn't win the game on the same turn, which is why we play things like Street Wraith or Edge of Autumn. Well, Vexing Bauble draws a card for a colorless. From there, you could play your Brainstorm that might allow you to build a Lotus Petal pile and win the game. That's actually really exciting. So Vexing Bauble gets you into your Doomsday pile. We like that. It also stops things like a free Endurance from wrecking your day. So it also protects you. There's so much that this Vexing Bauble does and why I think that it's a brilliant choice for Doomsday. So that is really the reason why you should be playing Vexing Bauble. And this list does play Personal Tutor. I know that people aren't really a big fan of it, but when you're playing Cabal Ritual, you really just want to consistently find Doomsday as fast as possible. So Personal Tutor makes a lot of sense to me. Because of the fact that we're playing Vexing Bauble, we're only playing 1 copy of Daze. That might seem a little odd. You might be used to seeing a full playset. But when you have Vexing Bauble, you don't want to include a bunch of anti-synergistic things within your combo deck. We are still a Lotus Petal Lion's Eye Diamond deck. Sometimes there's matchups where you need that extra speed and there's no working around it. Plus, there's also matchups where Vexing Bauble just gets sideboarded out, like Prison, and you want the Lotus Petal Lion's Eye Diamond interactions. In the sideboard, we have Duress and Flusterstorm. This might seem odd, but you actually board those in against blue decks, and then you board out Force of Will. Wait, you're going to board out Force of Will? Yeah, Force of Will is really stopping your opponents from winning, so if your opponent's on a fair strategy, you board out the free spell, and that means your Vexing Baubles are more effective, changing what the game's about, leveraging what you built your deck around, and that's just really smart from my perspective, and great deck building from Max. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. There's a Jace, Wielder of Mysteries in the sideboard. That's some spice. And it's not an accident. So why would you want to play Jace, Wielder of Mysteries? It's a 4-mana Thassa's Oracle. Not quite. Yeah, they both win the game if you don't have a deck, but Thassa's Oracle is a triggered ability. There's a new Stifle running around town that counters triggered abilities but not activated abilities, and that would be Consigned to Memory from Modern Horizons 3. That doesn't affect Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, and then you just get to win the game. So Jace beats Consigned to Memory. We like that. Force of Negation is for those prison matchups. You likely board out the Vexing Bauble there. And then we have some Graveyard Hate with Fairy Macabre and Tormod Crypt for the most popular deck in the format, Dimir Reanimator. That is the deck tech. A little bit long-winded, but hopefully insightful. If you appreciated it, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. And without any further ado, let's head on in to match number 1. I will see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We've lost the die roll, but our opponent put us on the play. In chat, they said it was a misclick. We can choose to believe them, or they might be playing Manaless Dredge. So this hand's very interesting because we have Personal Tutor for Doomsday, we have Cabal Ritual, we have Force of Will exiling our second copy of Thassa's Oracle, and obviously Thoughtseize. The issue is that we have double Lotus Petal as our mana. If one of these was a land, I think that this becomes a keep. But now I believe we have to mulligan. Alright, so this hand doesn't have access to turn 2 Doomsday, which is a big thing that we're trying to achieve. But I think this hand is probably good enough. We'll keep, get rid of the Force of Will. Alright, so we will search using Misty Rainforest. Grab Underground Sea, and let's play Thoughtseize. Are you actually on Manaless Dredge? They are not on Manaless Dredge. They are on Eldrazi. And they have a Wasteland. So my Underground Sea is not looking particularly good here. What to do, what to do? I think we take the Chalice of the Void. I'll play the Lotus Petal, and then we'll pass the turn. They play the Wasteland. Ouch. Okay, I don't love my position here. We find another Underground Sea. I'll play the Vexing Bauble because I want to sacrifice this and draw another card. Eldrazi Temple is the land. Polluted Delta. I love that. We'll just pass for now. On their end step, I'll sacrifice the Bauble, draw a card, then we can untap and play Brainstorm with a few more cards in our hand. Did you draw Thought-Knot Seer? They did! Alright, well, I will Brainstorm in response. We did not find Doomsday. I guess I could have dazed the thought. I could have sacrificed the Bauble and then dazed the Thought-Knot Seer. That might have been better. So we'll get rid of those. I will now fetch, because then I would still have my Brainstorm. So I misplayed here a little bit. Alright, we'll use the Bauble. Dark Ritual. And now I will daze the Thought-Knot Seer. Our Singleton Daze coming up huge here. And now we're just in a Doomsday waiting room. I mean, I'd also take a Personal Tutor. Next turn, they have Sowing Mycospawn coming down, so we're going to get Wastelanded. We'll play Ponder. None of those are Doomsday. We will shuffle. Thassa's Oracle again, huh? That hurts my feelings. Pass the turn. And this Force of Will is not even that great, because if they play the Cavern of Souls, I can't counter the Sowing Mycospawn. They name Eldrazi. Chalice of the Void on 1. I think I want to Force of Will this, because if they Sowing Mycospawn me, I want the option to play Dark Ritual into Doomsday. Or if I draw Personal Tutor, that allows me to find the Doomsday as well. Ay. Tough time here. We've played 2 cantrips, we had to draw a Vexing Bauble, and Sowing Mycospawn with the kicker. So they get to destroy both my lands now. That might be the game. So Sowing Mycospawn has the ability that destroys a land, and then it searches their deck for a land, which will be a Wasteland. And then I will end up with 0 lands in play. Ouch. Vexing Bauble's not a great draw. We're not dead, at least not yet, so there's still a chance. They attack for 3, we'll go to 12. Thought-Knot Seer is back and uncounterable. They take Cabal Ritual. Interesting. Edge of Autumn. I don't think we're capable of winning this, but we'll play it out, see what happens. I guess if I had like a perfect Brainstorm, that could do it. They attack for 7, I'll go down to 5 life. Alright, they just passed the turn. And we lose. So our deck failed to find Doomsday. I mean, I would keep that 6-card hand all over again, but it did not work out well for us. Okay, so Max gave me some instructions, and it said that you don't really want Vexing Bauble in these matchups, so we can get rid of those. Force of Negation comes in. And then Max recommends Jace over Thoughtseize. Okay. Max did give me a rough sideboard guide to be using. It's not available anywhere publicly, but you can watch this video and take notes. So this is what Max recommends. We'll try it out. I have to imagine part of it is just that Jace, Wielder of Mysteries is a blue card that allows you to also beat weird dedicated hate. So just a guess. This is pretty interesting. We can dig fairly deep for Doomsday. I'll keep. Play Scalding Tarn. I'm just going to immediately cycle the Street Wraith. I know that you want to hold cyclers for Doomsday, but I also want to dig for Doomsday and make sure that it's going to happen. I guess I'll say that. So I'm going to main phase this Brainstorm because if I find Doomsday, I can play it on turn 1. I don't. We'll get rid of the 2 win conditions and pass the turn. My goal of this game is going to be to search out basic land so I don't lose the Wasteland again. I have Ugin, and just passes the turn. We'll play Consider here. Go grab our basic island. Consider. We do not need another copy of Underground Sea. We find the Doomsday! We already have a Brainstorm. So we'll play Polluted Delta. We will fetch. We'll grab the basic Swamp, Dark Ritual, and Doomsday. So Storm is 2. A lot of these Eldrazi decks are playing Mindbreak Trap. So I think we want to build a pile here that just does not lose to Thought-Knot Seer or Mindbreak Trap. I think that's the easiest thing we can do here. So we'll put both Thassa's Oracles in the pile. We'll put another land in there just in case. And maybe a Lotus Petal. Like, I could win this turn. I'm aware that I could. And I'm sure somebody will leave a comment about how I could have won. But I'm trying here to not lose to Mindbreak Trap. That is my goal. So we'll put 1 Oracle on the bottom, land above that. Thassa's Oracle is card number 3. Street Wraith, Lotus Petal. And now we'll play a Ponder. And if they want to Mindbreak Trap this, they can. And they do. Okay. We will pass. I'm wondering if maybe I stacked my pile wrong. Oh, they just conceded. That works for me too. Because maybe I could have had the foresight to think that they would Mindbreak Trap a Ponder, and then I wouldn't be drawing a Lotus Petal that I don't really need. I don't feel strongly about it, but there's a chance I could have built that pile a little bit better. And now we're going to game number 3 on the draw versus Eldrazi. So we have Force of Negation for Chalice of the Void. We have Ponder to help find Doomsday. I already have Dark Ritual. I'm willing to keep this. I think that it's not an amazing hand, but it's going to do fine enough. They have revealed a Devourer of Destiny. And they exile all 4 cards. That is interesting. Okay. Now they play Once Upon a Time. I'm willing to let that go. So you could Force of Negation it. It's just, what if they have a Chalice of the Void for 1? I'd feel so foolish. So I'm choosing to let this happen. They find Eldrazi Temple. They play the Eldrazi Temple. Lotus Petal. Yep. Null Rod. I don't think I care about the Null Rod. Yeah, my Lion's Eye Diamond gets shut down, but that's not the end of the world. We're going to let this happen. Personal Tutor. That finds Doomsday. We'll play Personal Tutor. Doomsday on top of our deck, and we will pass the turn. My concern now would be a turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer, and it would take my Dark Ritual. I don't want that to happen here. Uh-oh. And that's exactly what happened. Alright, so strong opening for the opponent. They have 3 cards left on their hand, and one of them is a Devourer of Destiny. They take the Dark Ritual, surprise, surprise. So now we will draw Doomsday, and I will play Ponder. I don't want any of these, so we will shuffle. I find another Ponder. It's a reason to play the Underground Sea. I was going to hold this if I didn't find anything to insulate me from Wasteland. This is very interesting. So I think we keep this. And I can now force will a second copy of Thought-Knot Seer. Okay. Pass the turn. Really hoping our opponent does not have a Wasteland here. If they do, we're in trouble. So they're going to go to combat. We'll take 4 down to 16 life. Guy's Cradle, so no Wasteland. But it does give them a green mana for Sowing Mycospawn. And even if I counter the Sowing Mycospawn, they still get to search their deck for a land. So this was really problematic for me. I think we're supposed to counter the Sowing Myco Spawn just to buy time. We'll exile Force of Negation. There goes my land. So we're drawing Dark Ritual. My next card is Consider. So we need Consider to find another land. Specifically a land that makes black mana. But I believe every other land in our deck that isn't Cavern of Souls makes black mana. Ancient Tomb. So now they have 7 mana, which is enough to hardcast the Devourer of Destiny. There it is. So they'll attack me down to 11. I think we just lost. Because even if I consider into a black land, I can't stay alive. Because if let's say I find Underground Sea, which is the best land I could find here. I can't Doomsday from 1 or else I lose. And they have 10 damage on board. I mean, we'll play the Consider because it's all I can do here. But we've lost this game. Lotus Petal doesn't work with the Null Rod in play. And we find the only land in the deck that doesn't make black mana. So even if it was an Underground Sea or Basic Swamp, we couldn't win. So we've lost match number 1 versus Eldrazi. I stand by my decision to not counterspell the Null Rod. I think that would have been a losing play. Ultimately, our Lion's Eye Diamond being shut off did not matter. And I don't think that's really what the matchup is about. That said, the Wasteland, that's what really sealed the coffin here, or sealed the deal. We're 0-1, but there's still some Magic left to be played. Hopefully we win match number 2, and I will see you there. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. We're going to try to bounce back in the second match. So we're on the draw, and I have a Force of Will, Personal Tutor, but we don't need the Personal Tutor because we already have Doomsday. So what this hand needs is a Dark Ritual. I think I'll try it, but I'm not excited about this hand. I really wish that the Thassa's Oracle was either Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, or even another land. Turn 1 Polluted Delta, Underground Sea, and Delver of Secrets. I think we let that go. Another Thassa's Oracle? That was a terrible draw. We will cycle Street Wraith. We find a land. That's not the worst. We'll fetch with Polluted Delta. Grab the basic island. Let's try Vexing Bauble. It's either that or Personal Tutor for Ponder. And a Daze. I think I want to fight. We'll exile the other Thassa's Oracle. Alright, so now we don't have to worry about any future copies of Daze or Force of Will for free. They transform Delver of Secrets to Fatal Push. They attack for 3. I will go to 13. They replay Underground Sea and Nethergoyf. So the pressure's on. We find Basic Swamp. So I'm trying to think through this. I think I have to Personal Tutor for Ponder. We'll play Basic Swamp. Pass. So they're about to attack me for 5, which puts me down to 8. My life total is getting very low, especially when they're holding a Fatal Push that could kill my Thassa's Oracle. Psychic Frog. So now they're threatening lethal next turn. That's not good. So we'll take 5 here, down to 8, and then they have lethal next turn. I'm going to use the Vexing Bauble. So the thing is, you want a card that draws into Doomsday, and Vexing Bauble does that, but I don't know if I have enough resources to win that way. So let's say I ponder into Dark Ritual, which is best possible outcome. I would then have to use Polluted Delta to crack the Bauble, and then I have no mana, and I have 1 card. So I don't think that's good enough. I have to use the Bauble now, I think. I just need to draw perfects. I need to draw like Dark Ritual, Edge of Autumn. Another Personal Tutor. I think we're dead. I guess I could try to block with the Thassa's Oracle and then Doomsday next turn. So I would go to 7. I think I'm dead if they just jump their Psychic Frog, but we'll make them make the right play. I mean, we know that they have the Fatal Push too. I guess I'm just dead no matter what. We'll put a Brainstorm on top. Yeah, I mean, I just lost this game. And they have Wasteland, plus the Fatal Push that we know that they have already. Okay, so 6 damage already in play. They just have to discard 1 card. Even if they don't, I can't Doomsday from 1 life. They discard a Daze. Brutal. Okay. So we're supposed to take out Force of Will. Alright, Max also said to sideboard out the Daze. So we'll bring in Flusterstorm, bring in Duress. And that leaves us at 61. We need... Also, we probably want the Jace Wielder of Mysteries versus a deck playing Consigned to Memory. We'll board out 1 copy of Cabal Ritual and maybe a Lotus Petal. Let's try this. On the play. I feel like this hand is a trap. Like, I want to keep it because if you find Doomsday, it's so good. Is this just crazy? You know what? I want to keep it. We're keeping it. Like, you're not supposed to keep hands that don't have access to turn 2 Doomsday. That has come from Max's mouth before. That said, this hand is very powerful. We'll play the Polluted Delta. I want to go grab the basic Swamp. And then we will Thoughtseize. Consign to Memory, Delver of Secrets, and Cantrips. We'll take the Delver of... we'll take the Delver of Secrets. Play out the Lotus Petal. Play the Lion's Eye Diamond. And I'm going to pass. So I hope by playing out the zeros that they don't hold open Consign to Memory. And then I could sneak in a Vexing Bauble, but we'll find out. So they fetch pretty quickly with the Flooded Strand. And they drew another Delver of Secrets. Yeah, I mean, there's the joke about the Thoughtseize bug on Magic Online. I'm not surprised. Alright, so we draw Underground Sea. We'll play the Vexing Bauble. On their end step, we can grab Undercity Sewers and Surveil. Delver of Secrets triggers. Flips to Ponder. Polluted Delta. So if I found Doomsday, we actually have a win with Jace Wielder of Mysteries through the Consign to Memory. They play Ponder. They shuffled off the Ponder. On the end step, we'll activate Misty Rainforest. Find Undercity Sewers. Street Wraith can go to the graveyard. Come on, Doomsday. Thassa's Oracle. I think we just play the Oracle as a scrying mechanism here, and if they want to Consign to Memory, we let them. We don't want either of those. Those can both go on the bottom. Pass the turn. They use Polluted Delta. They search out their own copy of Undercity Sewers. We'll take 3 down to 10. Time is running out. And another copy of Ponder. So we know that they still have Bloodstained Mire, Brainstorm, and Consign to Memory. They shuffled off the Ponder. They played the Bloodstained Mire. And Nethergoyf. Yep. All I want to do is cast Doomsday. You draw Brainstorm. Okay. Play it. Personal Tutor. Okay. So we'll play the Personal Tutor. Put Doomsday on top of our deck. Pass the turn. They now play the Brainstorm. We can cross that off. Now they attack. We'll block. I go to 7. Okay, so it's now or never. Whoops, I tapped incorrectly. Alright, so we want to do a bunch of black mana here. We'll play Doomsday. We know about Consign to Memory. They fetch in response. 2 mana. They're going to bounce the Vexing Bauble in response. So this means they have a Force of Will. So I think how I win this game is I have to be incredibly lucky here. We want to... Well, actually, does that even work? So I would I would cycle Edge of Autumn, sacrificing a Lion's Eye Diamond. I'd have to draw into Flusterstorm, and then we'd have 3 blue. You would Flusterstorm a Force of Will, and then you'd have 2 blue left. You replay the Vexing Bauble that costs 1. You then use the Vexing Bauble, and now you can't win the game. So I just have to let this resolve. And if they have Force of Will, they have Force of Will. And they do. And we're dead on board. That's tough. Another option our opponent had here was play Force of Will. Vexing Bauble triggers. You then consign to memory the Vexing Bauble trigger. So we just got crushed. I feel like we found... It's taken us too long to find Doomsday. I did keep a hand that did not find Doomsday quickly this game. That might be my own fault. But I thought this opening hand was so strong that we would have found it quickly. It's possible I am not mulliganing correctly, but we're 0-2. I am interested in feedback down below. but Doomsday traditionally is not a deck that you just mull to Doomsday, so I don't think that is a correct play pattern. I'm open to being wrong, though. Match number 3 coming up in just a moment. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Alright, so we have turn 1 Doomsday off of Lotus Petal with Force of Will backup. I'm going to keep this. This could go sideways, but I think that this hand is a keep. If you could draw into Brainstorm, this could even be a turn 1 win. I don't think a typical cantrip could do it. So if you drew Consider or Ponder, this isn't good enough to win on turn 1, but I like my chances. Verdant Catacombs, and it looks like they're just going to pass the turn. They have 5 cards remaining. We draw another Force of Will. Okay. So we'll play a couple copies of Lotus Petal, Dark Ritual, and Doomsday. Do we actually get to resolve a Doomsday? We do! I guess we resolved one in match 1 too. I shouldn't complain too much. Alright, so we want a Brainstorm so that way we can win on the next turn. And then we probably want like Cavern of Souls. Maybe I don't want Cavern of Souls. Like an Underground Sea and a Polluted Delta in the deck might be better because it thins the pile. And then Thassa's Oracle, and then like a Lotus Petal. So let's think through this. Next turn, I would draw Brainstorm, and I'd want to draw into Lotus Petal, Polluted Delta, Thassa's Oracle, then I'd fetch out the Underground Sea. That makes sense to me. We'll click Done. So we'll put the land on the bottom, and then Lotus Petal underneath that, Thassa's Oracle, Polluted Delta, Brainstorm. Pass the turn. They had no end step effects, not even a Surveil land. What you doing over there, huh? Polluted Delta. Okay. They fetch for a basic swamp. Vexing Bauble. I mean, I still have a turn to win. I think I'm supposed to Force of Will this. And if they have more interaction, I think that this is just Ad Nauseam Tendrils. I could be wrong, but that's my hunch here. And now we'll play the Brainstorm. We'll put back these 2 cards that don't win us the game. Polluted Delta, play Lotus Petal. And now I'll fetch out the Underground Sea. We lose to a removal spell, but I'm pretty sure this is just Ad Nauseam Tendrils. So here's Thassa's Oracle. Triggers. And we win. Sweet. Okay, so we're facing a combo deck. I believe we want the Duress. I believe we also want Flusterstorm. You could even argue for Force of Negation. There's so much you can bring in versus combo. You probably don't need the Cavern of Souls. That can get out of the deck pretty quickly. And then now you're in this spot where, wow, you have a lot of cards to cut. So if they are a combo deck, you don't need Lion's Eye Diamond. You could even board out a couple copies of Lotus Petal. You could shave 1 Personal Tutor, and that brings you down to 65. You could probably get rid of a Cabal Ritual. And maybe you board out the Vexing Baubles, because you're bringing in a bunch of Force of Negations. I could be wrong, and they have their own baubles. So we'll try this. It's funny, I was actually reading a conversation today in the Storm Discord where a person suggested a second Surveil land in Ad Nauseam Tendrils. They were like, the Epic Storm's most recent list is playing 2, and they're a deck that plays fewer lands than Ant. Maybe we should consider a second. And people just strongly disagreed with them. If I was working on Ad Nauseam Tendrils like actively, I would probably be playing 2, especially if I was playing more than just Dimir colors. Like if I was splashing red and green, I'd want more Surveil lands, but I am not surprised that our opponent did not search out a Surveil land on the first turn. Chrome Mox. Okay. I mean, this looks like Storm combo. Stalactite Stalker? I guess I'm just really off base. This is like some sort of weird Pox deck. We'll Force of Will that. Getting rid of Ponder. So they didn't have a Fatal Push in game 1. That's what that means. Really bad Thassa's Oracle here. We'll fetch. I'm going to play Duress. I mean, maybe I should hold it, but I'm going to play it out. The One Ring! Alright, we'll play Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. And now their hand is nothing. So they're in top deck mode. All we have to do is find Doomsday. They drew another Stalactite Stalker. And there's the Doomsday. Easy does it. That for black mana. We'll play Doomsday. So we want the other Thassa's Oracle somewhere in the pile. We want another Underground Sea. We could probably put another fetch land in there. Maybe like Flooded Strand. We'd probably put a Street Wraith in there. What else? Maybe like a Ponder or something, or Consider? We'll try this. So we'll put the Underground Sea on the bottom. Street Wraith after that. We'll put the Oracle in the middle. Consider Flooded Strand on top. I'm not sure if this is actually correct, but I don't think we're going to lose this game. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it seems like we're in a wonderful spot here. They'll attack for 1, we go to 7. Sure. We'll play Brainstorm. We'll put back 2 cards. We will fetch out the Underground Sea and play Thassa's Oracle. Woot woot! We have won a match. We are now 1-2. You're still watching. Make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. The 4th round, we are on the play, which I like, and let's see what we can do. Man, I hate drawing Thassa's Oracle, and it happens every game. So here we have a path to Doomsday, but this hand is essentially a mulligan to 5. Between having an Oracle and a second copy of Personal Tutor. I'm going to take an actual mulligan. Nope, can't keep that. Oh my. Maybe I should have kept the 7. Because, am I really supposed to keep this? Even if I bottom 2 cards, this hand is a mulligan to 3. I'm going to go to 4. This is way better than the 5. We'll keep this. Bottom, Edge of Autumn, bottom of Doomsday, bottom of Dark Ritual. I have no idea what our opponent's playing, but I think that this is a keep. Underground Sea, Dark Ritual, Doomsday, Force of Will, exiling Spell Pierce. I guess I could have cycled Street Wraith for Daze. We have 1 Daze I could have drawn into. We'll see what my next card is. If it's a Daze, I'm going to be very sad. It was not Daze. We will pass the turn. Meticulous Archive. They get rid of Scalding Tarn. Mountain. So are you Jeskai control? There's Stoneblade. Okay, I've seen enough. We can just go to game number 2. Like, I've already lost this. We mulligan to 4. And now I know what they're playing, so I know how to sideboard. We want the Flusterstorms, we want the Jacewielder Mysteries, and we want Duress. You're supposed to take out the Daze and Force of Wills. And that leaves us at 62. Cut a Cabal Ritual was Max's other suggestion. And 1 Lotus Petal. Let's go. I would like some better draws because those mulligans were ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. I had a thought in the deck tech, and then I was like, you know what? Max is perfect. I shouldn't suggest any changes to Max's deck that just went like 10-0 through the Swiss of a showcase challenge. But it's a thought that crossed my mind. If you're playing a deck with Dark Ritual, Cabal Rituals, you have a lot of black mana. You could, in theory, play 1 Night's Whisper to draw into off your Vexing Bauble, because then off the Night's Whisper, you could draw Lines of Diamond plus Cycler that gives you Thassa's Oracle as a win, where currently you can't do that. And here we've opened up no lands. That hurts my feelings. Mulligan. I guess I'm going to keep this. We'll bottom Edge of Autumn. This is not a very good hand. We'll play the first turn Duress and just pray that I draw Dark Ritual, or I'm sorry, pray that I draw Doomsday for turn. Brainstorm, Force of Will, Rest in Peace. So they think that I'm Storm? Why would you bring in Rest in Peace? We will take the Brainstorm. Pass the turn. I don't understand wanting Rest in Peace, but maybe they're like a Helm deck or something. I don't know. They played the basic island and they drew Ponder. Good for them. I am still in a Doomsday waiting room. They did not shuffle off the Ponder. We ripped Doomsday. Let's Duress, Lavinia Azorius Renegade. Wow. Alright, we'll take Force of Will. I believe I'm supposed to cycle the Street Wraith here to see if I can draw a land, because then I could play the Doomsday. Okay, so we're going to take the long route. It's going to hurt, but Dark Ritual, Doomsday. This is not going to be easy. We're going to put Oracle in our pile, a second copy of Thassa's Oracle, Cavern of Souls, we'll put in an island, and then maybe one cycler. So I just want to talk through this. So we've selected our 5 cards. Next turn I'll draw Island, play Ponder, and the turn after that I can go Cavern of Souls, Thassa's Oracle. That seems fine enough to me. Alright, so one Oracle can go on the bottom, and then we'll do like a Cavern of Souls, the other Thassa's Oracle, Street Wraith, Island, pass the turn. Prismatic Vista, and they did not play Lavinia. That is terrifying. Alright, we'll play the Island, play Ponder. So I'm going to draw, I just want to think through this. So I will draw Cavern of Souls off this. Next turn I'll take a draw. I don't believe I'm supposed to draw the Street Wraith, because if I cycle Street Wraith, I don't think I have time to play the second Oracle, so maybe that was just a wrong move. And I should, instead of having a Street Wraith in the pile, I should have put in a discard spell. Because like a Duress in here would have been much better. So I draw the Cavern. That leaves me with 3 cards. Next turn I draw Oracle. That leaves me with 2 cards. Yeah, okay. So Street Wraith has to go on the bottom. We'll draw Cavern of Souls. Pass. They fetch using Prismatic Vista. They grab a basic Plains. There's their other basic island. They play the Lavinia. And they're strongly representing Consign to Memory. We'll play Cavern of Souls. We'll name Merfolk. We'll play the Thassa's Oracle. Trigger. Yep. And then next turn we cycle Street Wraith into the other Thassa's Oracle. So they would need another Consign to Memory. They fetch with Scalding Tarn. If this is a Blood Moon or something, Comet Stellar Pup. Sure. They create a few squirrels. You got it. We'll go to blocks and kill a squirrel. So I'll take 3. I go to 6, which is still enough life next turn to cycle Street Wraith into Thassa's Oracle. So I'll go to 4, and the other Thassa's Oracle. Sweet. Off to game 3. I'm good with my sideboard plans. Let's just try to keep a powerful 7-card hand. I would enjoy that. This hand is powerful. Yeah, we keep these. Okay. Leaded Strand into Ponder. Lotus Petal. I think I'm going to play Thoughtseize on turn 1. I could just Undercity Sewers, but if they have something like Lavinia, I don't want to deal with it. We'll take the Tamiyo Inquisitive Student. We can allow them to play Stoneforge Mystic and then just duress the card later. We'll play Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. They did not shuffle off the Ponder, by the way, so they kept that on purpose. A little odd. Thassa's Oracle. We'll play Duress. Take the Cauldron. Play Dark Ritual. And Doomsday. So we'll put another Oracle in the pile. We want Cavern of Souls. There's a card we're going to Surveil away, which can just be a Street Wraith. So we're going to Surveil away a card, and then we'll draw a card, which would be the 4th card in the pile. So I think we might want 1 Cycler, and then maybe another land in case something goes sideways. We'll try this. So we'll put the island on the bottom, Thassa's Oracle, and then Street Wraith, Cavern of Souls, Street Wraith, and then we'll play Undercity Sewers. And now we'll Surveil away the Street Wraith. So that leaves me at 4 cards. Next turn I'll draw card number 3, which should be a Street Wraith. I can cycle into the Cavern and then play Thassa's Oracle. They play Scalding Tarn. They fetch. So they drew something. 1 unknown. I do not care about Teferi Time Raveler. And they did not attack on accident, but I don't think it matters. They minus the Teferi. Apparently I messed up. I thought I was drawing a Street Wraith here. We'll play Vexing Bauble. That is unfortunate. Play Cavern of Souls. Say Wizard. That is really awkward. Because now if they had drawn into a Consign to Memory, I get punished. Another Stoneforge Mystic. Do you have something else that isn't Kaldra? Because they could put it in a play off of Stoneforge Mystic. They find Batterskull. So they have Batterskull and one unknown in their hand. Yeah, I stacked the pile wrong. If this bites me in the butt, I'm going to be very disappointed. We'll play Thassa's Oracle. If it's just a removal spell, we can actually cycle the rest of our deck. And they concede, so it did not matter. I'm not playing super well, but I'm trying my best, I promise. I'm trying to win matches. We are now 2-2 with one match left to go. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? The final round, we're on the draw. I will keep. Our opponent is a known combo player. They've played a lot of Ad Nauseam Tendrils in the past, some Doomsday. They also like Boss's Citadel a lot, so I'm guessing it's a Dark Ritual combo deck. We'll find out. Alright, Underground Sea, Personal Tutor. It's the Doomsday Mirror. Yeah, you got it. They have found their own Doomsday. Edge of Autumn. We will cycle Street Wraith. I'd like a blue card here, so that way I can play my own Personal Tutor. We find one. And now we'll play Personal Tutor. We'll go grab the better Doomsday. The original Doomsday. A Doomsday that a hero would play. And now we'll play out our Lion's Eye Diamond before they could possibly play their own copy of Vexing Bauble. And we just have a win on our next turn. They play Basic Swamp, Dark Ritual, and Doomsday. They have 3 cards remaining. I'm going to Force of Will. Let's see what they do. Okay, they have 3 cards left in their hand. They play Ponder. They shuffled off the Ponder. Dark Ritual. Doomsday. Ours resolves. So we don't have a draw 2 in the deck. Oh, they just concede. Alright then. That saves me some time. Sweet. So we're playing the mirror match. I'm guessing we don't want Vexing Bauble. That can be sideboarded out. I am interested in Force of Negation, Flusterstorm, and Duress. So we're bringing a lot of interactive pieces. So we could probably board out 1 Lotus Petal, maybe a Cabal Ritual. Now we're at 64. Likely the Daze. Probably don't need the Cavern of Souls, because you have so much interaction. By the time you get to a Oracle, you're not going to need the Cavern. And now we're at 62. My gut tells me 1 Personal Tutor, but maybe that's not true. You could also try getting rid of the Diamond, which is probably the right thing to do when you're just all full of interaction. And now we're at 61. I'm going to try another Lotus Petal. Submit. So we have Doomsday. We have a bunch of interaction. I think I'll keep this. What we're lacking is mana. Our opponent with a very fast mulligan to 5. Like split-second mulligans. Verdant Catacombs. We draw another Duress. We'll fetch, using the polluted delta to find Underground Sea, and we'll play Duress. They activate the Verdant Catacombs in response for Brainstorm. Wow. Okay, my Duress misses. You got it. So we would like to find a land on our turn. They cycle Street Wraith immediately. So they drew both cards that they hid, and now they play Ponder. I would really like another land. They did not shuffle with the Ponder. We'll cycle Street Wraith to see if we find that land. We did not, and instead we drew a second Thassa's Oracle. I believe that casting Duress here would be a mistake. I'm going to pass. I want to hold open Flusterstorm to make sure that Doomsday does not resolve. And they did not fetch with the Misty Rainforest on the end step, so they wanted another card off the Ponder. Drawing double Thassa's Oracle was not in the cards. Well, it was for me, but I didn't want it to happen. We'll cycle another Street Wraith down to 15. Force of Will. I will try the Duress now. They Brainstorm in response. I'm going to allow this to happen. I could have Force of Willed, but if they're holding their own Flusterstorm, I just get absolutely destroyed, and then they untap and resolve Doomsday. We will take Ponder. Pass. So they just drew the first card, and they're holding another Underground Sea, which means that that card was probably a Brainstorm. Well, we drew our own. Hopefully we can exchange these Thassa's Oracles for something better. Alright, so we drew double land. We'll put back the Oracles, play the Polluted Delta, pass the turn holding open Flusterstorm. So now they've drawn both cards off their Brainstorm that they hid. They play Consider. They put a Lotus Petal to their graveyard. They play the other Underground Sea, and they pass with 4 cards in hand. We will fetch in our upkeep to get rid of the pair of Thassa's Oracle on top of our deck. Underground Sea, and we draw Cabal Ritual. We'll play the Undercity Sewers. Dark Ritual. I don't think I actually want Dark Ritual. We'll play Ponder and shuffle that. The second copy of Doomsday. Alright, pass the turn. So I guess the one funny thing about this is if our opponent fights over our Doomsday, Cabal Ritual makes enough mana where I could just play another one. They put a Dark Ritual to their graveyard with the Surveil land. We know that they still have 1 Dark Ritual in hand. Alright, I guess they're deciding it's time. They have 4 open mana. I will Force of Will, exiling Personal Tutor. They have 2 cards. They fetch in response. This is a hardcast Force of Negation? Sure. And now I will play Flusterstorm. We don't know what their final card in hand is. It's their own Flusterstorm, so I believe we just won. We'll say no, and then eventually their Doomsday will resolve. Our opponent has a lot more experience in the Doomsday mirror match. That said, I feel like I drew better both of these games, so ultimately that's what matters. You can be as bad as me with Doomsday and still win if you draw fairly well. So we drew a Flusterstorm, we'll play Cabal Ritual, and now we'll play our Doomsday. So we can just build a pretty basic Brainstorm pile here. So Thassa's Oracle, and we'll put in another Edge of Autumn. We can do a pair of Lotus Petal. I could even put in a land if I wanted to. And then Brainstorm. So that's 5. So we'll put Oracle on the bottom. Lotus Petal, Brainstorm. And then Edge of Autumn. We'll draw all 3. We'll exchange Doomsday and Fluster and win. Alright, so Oracle on the bottom. Lotus Petal. Brainstorm, Edge of Autumn. Cycle Edge of Autumn. Cycle the Edge of Autumn. Play Brainstorm. We'll put these 2 back on top. And we 3-2'd the league. I mean, this league started off a little rough. I won't lie to you. The Eldrazi match was a little bit of a heartbreaker. And then I just got absolutely annihilated by the Dimir deck. So I loved the deck list. Obviously, I had some pilot errors in a few spots, but I thought Max's deck list was very powerful. I do think that if I was to tinker with this, I would try One Night's Whisper. I mean, it's probably bad, but I'd want to try it. But I'm sure Max is going to hate me for recommending that, by the way. But when you're running 7 rituals, I think it is justifiable in your Vexing Bauble deck. That's all I've got. Definitely trust Max. Don't trust me. Don't try the Night's Whisper. It's probably not good, but I just have that brain worm in my head where I want to play it. All right. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you're interested, you can visit theepicstorm.com/donation-decks to see your combo deck here on this very YouTube channel. You can even join me in a video in the Epic tier. It's totally worth it, I promise. And see ya. Thanks for watching.